Hi guys, Hayley from AH Sports here. Today I'm joined by Daz. He is going to talk us through his gymnastics career and how they integrated with social media. So welcome, Daz.
Thank you very much.
So first up, tell us about your career with Cirque du Soleil.
So basically I was a gymnast for about 10 to 12 years. Then I got identified and we did a circus course for 3 months, which was basically the ground to test out what is now called NICA, which is the National Institute of Circus Arts. So we did the testing ground for that, and a lot of the investors and the school incumbent came to that, and they wanted to see if it was feasible and if it was worth doing. From that, 2 of our coaches were from Cirque du Soleil. At that point, Cirque du Soleil wasn't heard of in Australia, had never toured in Asia Pacific. So they identified 3 of us, and 2 of us went to Saltimbanco, which was my first show, and another guy went to O, which is the show in Vegas. They showed me some footage of Cirque, and I'm like, it looks pretty cool. But for me, the whole encompassment of why I took it on was I get to see the world and I get to get paid for it.
So while you were touring, did you use social media to communicate with the other gymnasts and also engage your fans?
Initially in the first show, social media wasn't massive then, and there was strict copyright with Cirque for what you could even film. Like, we couldn't even film any part of the show whatsoever. We weren't allowed to film training, we weren't allowed to film anything. So initially I would have to say not really. The good thing that social media allowed me to do was we could set up some training in the background, not on the actual stage and things like that, and nothing to do with the specifics of your role in the show or in costume or anything like that. So they were really tight on that. But I did have a lot of the gymnasts from my club and from my state and country and stuff that would sort of follow my Facebook post to see where we were touring and where we were at, and what the other performers were from, what other sports they were from, and stuff like that. So it did give an insight into, I'm a gymnast, how many other gymnasts are in the cast, how many of them are divers or trampolinists, or at what level. Did they go to Olympics? Were they world champions? Or were they just sort of, not every day, but they just had to have a certain level. So it was good on that aspect, but at the start you couldn't use it as a promotional tool or anything like that at all, because we weren't allowed to film anything. Cut forwards to like 6 or 7 years later when I did Windtuck, it had changed quite a lot. You still couldn't post stuff from the actual show, but back then, everybody was filming on their things, even though you were told not to. People still did it.
So tell us about your life after gymnastics and Cirque du Soleil.
So in between my first show and my second show, I was like, what do I want to do now with my life? And the gymnastics side is sort of finished, and I'd been coaching since I was 14. So that was my first job, and now I was sort of in my mid to late 20s. This was before I got the second gig, so I went and did a personal trainer course. I did a gym instructor course and then followed the personal trainer course, and I started to get a few clients of my own, because the gym was just not for me. It was just too pigeonholed into, this is how it is and this is the one formula, and being of a creative mindset, that just didn't sit well with me, and I like to evolve things as they go, as they develop. So I went out on my own and started a few classes, and got some clients, and then I got the New York gig, and that was always a bit of a juggle, because the New York gig only it was seasonal, so I went over there winter. So following that, that was 4 months, and then I'd come back. But the worst thing you can do as a business is develop some clients and then leave them for 4 months, and then you have to come back and you have to regenerate and build up clientele again, and then you leave them again. So I ended up doing the New York gig for 3 years, and then I kind of got to a point where I'm like, all right, I either do this full time and keep going, or I set up the business properly and actually invest time and energy into it.
So how has social media allowed you to expand your business and your profile in relation to getting new clients on board? word of mouth through social media? How has that helped you progress in your career?
I'm still learning a lot about that because I'm the least tech savvy person I know out of all of my friends. But lately, especially this year, I have definitely engaged more in social media and Instagram and Facebook and things like that. The algorithms are always changing, so it makes it a little bit tricky, but at the same time, beforehand it was purely word of mouth, and then someone's experience and they're telling you what it was like, whereas now with Facebook and Instagram there's all those visuals all the time, so there's video footage there's photos, all that stuff of people actually doing what you will do in class, so people can immediately go and check it out. So they can check out your website, they can check out your Instagram page, they can check out your Facebook, and it's been good to tie in little promos like bring a friend week or a free week or come down and trial a class, or we have an open day, or this is the 4-week promo, or we're doing a lifestyle kickstart or a 10-week power play program. It's all for different goals and specific goals. Some of it's just to get some healthy habits going, so it's just over a short period of time, and some of it is to get some real change starting deep from within and progressing into your lives. But social media has been a pretty good tool. It's very saturated, and you really have to find where your niche is and where your business fits in. There's pros and cons to everything in life, so it really comes down to how you approach your business to it, and what sits in in line with your vision.
What do you say, thinking back to like previously with Cirque du Soleil and limited use of social media, that social media has been able to enhance progressing in your career, that it's like, if you compare the two, would you say that it's made it easier for now to start this business?
Yeah, definitely. It definitely accelerates everything. Back in the day, if I was just relying on me sending an actual VHS video to someone, like a show reel and things like that, now, it's accessible to the whole world straight away. You just load something up on YouTube or wherever, any of the social media platforms, and anybody can see it at any given time in any country. Beforehand, if I would apply for a job or an audition or something like that, you have to physically either go in, but before that you might have to send them a tape, and that's it, and it would just be for that specific person. So it definitely has accelerated that process massively. Yeah.
Do you think there's any negatives to come out of social media?
Yeah, I think like anything, there's pros and cons, and it really comes down to your approach to how you use it. I think we already live in a very self-obsessed society, and I think, I'll look at some profiles on Instagram and they have 50,000 followers in that, and 98% of their posts is just a photo of them, taking a photo of them. It's just purely a selfie photo, so it's just self-indulgent, and I find that whole superficial materialistic thing going down a very negative path, and I don't think it's contributing to really finding out where people's self-worth is and self-happiness and things like that. So I don't think that's a great thing where it's headed.
Awesome. And to finish off, do you have any insights on the future of social media, so what it means for you moving forward, and as a whole, where do you think it's going to end up?
That's an amazing question that I don't have the answer for. I think people are becoming more aware now of the negatives and positives of social media. So, as much it's not so new anymore, and they can see things that are trending and see things that are contributing to positive things and things that are contributing to negative things. So, I think it's just trying to keep it in check and in line, that we're still human beings and we're emotional, we're irrational, but we're also instinctively emotional, and you just need to keep that in mind, otherwise everything will just become super cyborg.
All right, thanks for that insight, Daz. You've had an amazing career, and you're going from place to place, and I'm excited to see where it all takes you. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me on the show.